Hey everyone, my name is Swati and today we are going to be looking at the stat changes of Neverwinter mod 16. So the first thing we need to know is that all ratings are now 500 to 1. It is also good to know that at rank 80, all stats of enemies are 24k. This is important because you need to overcome this 24k in order to do damage, and also need to have the 24k in order to prevent taking damage. Next up, we're going to be looking at new counter stats in mod 16. Deflect will be countered by accuracy, and armor pen will counter defense as it is currently. Crit resist will now counter crit, and awareness will counter combat advantage. In mod 16, combat advantage will have a base of 5%. That is, you will start with 5% combat advantage. It will also now cap at 100%. As for critical strike, it also starts with a 5% base, and it now caps at 50%. Deflect caps at 50% and damage resistance caps at 80%. Now that we know that, I'm going to move on to stats we need to invest in mod 16. Firstly, we need to invest as much as possible into power. In mod 16, due to the 1 to 500 ratio, 500 power represents 1% damage. Another important stat is armor pen, of which you need 25.76k. Now many will tell you 24k. I also believed it to be 24k until some of my Alliance members pointed out that during testing they came up with the number of 25.76 as the optimal number. Accuracy also have a 25.76k cap, and that brings us to our next option, which is crit or combat advantage. I will go into further detail about this, as this is a very important step. When investing in defensive stats, I normally invest in defense, hit points, and deflect. In mod 16, we can go one of two routes: the critical strike route or the combat advantage route. Both these routes are viable, and it will depend on your playing style which one you select. Now, the first one I'm going to be looking at is the crit strike one. When using the critical strike route, you need a crit severity of 106%. This includes your Vorpal enchantment, which should be a transcendent or higher. You will require a crit strike of 46.5k, an armor pen of 25.76k, and a crit resist of 26.5k. Since if you do not get the required amount of combat advantage, it is equivalent to 0 anyways. You would want to go as low as possible with combat advantage and not waste any stats in it. Next up, we need an awareness of 29k, accuracy of 25.6k, crit severity of 75% before the 50% that Vorpal will add to us, and a power of 85k or more. Power we will want to go as high as possible. That is it for the critical strike route. So next we're going to be looking at the combat advantage route. In this case, you need a combat advantage of 69k. Your crit needs to be as low as possible. Your armor pen needs to be 25.76k, and your accuracy the same. I just need to say that these stats are from the previous server currently, and they may change before the mod 16 goes live. In case they change, I will amend changes in the description of this video. That is it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below, and happy gaming everyone.